these programs are going to become more now as we're heading towards the end of the year. You see these programs where if you have enough roof space and capacity to install about 6 batteries, you could apply to own a microgrid. A microgrid is essentially how it works is instead of buying land, which as you may know, Dylan, costs thousands of dollars.
Right.
The deal is pretty much if you have a big roof, if you have enough space where we can fit 50, 70, 80 panels and install 6 batteries, that's more than enough to cover the average household consumption on electric.
Welcome to the Texas Real Estate Pros Show, where we interview Texas real estate professionals from active real estate investors, lenders, property managers, and many others that provide goods and services into the real estate investing industry in the great state of Texas. Our goal is simple: to share what's working now to help you improve and scale your business to the next level, and to meet the pros that can help you get there. Texas Real Estate Pros is powered by Investor Fuel, America's leader in helping real estate investors and entrepreneurs build the business they need to live the life that they've always dreamed of. Let's start today's show. Property insurance for real estate investors doesn't have to be difficult, but it does need to be there to protect you when you need it. MyInvestorInsurance.com not only provides insurance at 15 to 30% cheaper than traditional agencies, it's built specifically for real estate investors like you. You can set up an account in about 2 minutes, get quotes on properties, turn on and turn off insurance for your fix and flip or rental properties in around 2 minutes without having to talk to anyone directly, all through our portal. There's no better way or faster way to make sure you've got the coverage you need to protect you, and no more lengthy policies either. Once you're set up, you're billed monthly and prorated by the day for however long your policy is active. It's powered by MSI, the third largest independent MGA, with 1.5 million customers and more than $1 billion in cumulative premiums written. Get set up today in about 2 minutes at myinvestorinsurance.com/fuel.
Hey folks, welcome back to the show. Today's guest is part of the team at Arias Solar Care, focusing on solar installation throughout the state of Texas. Please welcome Julian Perez. Julian, welcome to the show.
Thank you so much, Dylan.
I always like to start off at the top of the show, Julian, by asking folks how they got into the space that they're in. How'd you get into solar?
I think I got into solar out of inspiration. I did not know anything about solar back in 2020. I found solar through a project that we were doing where we were trying to figure out a solution on how we were going to get electricity from point A to B. And this was a glamping project. Not sure if you're familiar with the term
absolutely.
Okay, so as you know, these are pretty much, in the hill country, so a space that's out of the city, and sometimes it's land that it lacks water, lacks electricity, and pretty much you have to work on it on your own. So we were trying to figure out ways how can we get these units to have electricity, and the easiest way to do it was either have solar or pretty much trench from the main panel like more than 150 feet all the way to the glamping to the unit.
Yeah.
So solar made it really easy. Put some solar panels on the unit, run the electrical part, and then connect it to its own battery system. That way it powers at night. And that solved I saw for the very first time how solar worked, and I said, wow, I think I'm in love with this. I think I can develop a passion here. And now that I see that it's working, I mean, for me, it was kind of like a Bluetooth thing. It's just that's how I would describe it back then. I would just see everything turned on with any hard connections directly from the grid, really an offset system. So starting from there, I said, you know what? I might change my industries here. And I applied to a few solar companies, and that's how it all started.
Stop living on an island and join the #1 mastermind in America for professional real estate investors. Investor Fuel is a community of hundreds of the nation's top investors working together to build stronger businesses and better lives. In addition to the amazing community of real estate investors acting as a board of advisors for one another, Investor Fuel members have access to 100% funding on purchase and repairs for our members only, a health insurance program, and benefits and discounts that more than pays for the membership of most of our members, meaning it's actually costing you money to not be a member of Investor Fuel. If you're looking to scale your business and build a business that allows you to live the life of your dreams, please visit investorfuel.com today and book a call with our team.
I want to ask you about that glamping structure. I'm a big fan of glamping. I've now seen this on Airbnb throughout the country. I'm a Texas licensed realtor. You're a Texas solar installer. And one of the interesting things is all across Texas and neighboring states as well, you're seeing more of this wilderness, but also high-end camping, right? Glamping, as you call it.
Glamping, yeah.
I'm curious, there does seem to be a big tie-in, right, between that type of ease of access of the solar, also cost saving because you're not having to trench so far, and these ADUs and glamping units, right? There's some crossover there.
Right. Yeah. So like I said, that's a project in Colombia that I have with my father. And in Colombia, it's even harder because pretty much those lands, the really beautiful lands. I mean, as soon as we saw the land, the idea my dad had was, let's just build a regular hotel, right? Kind of, not a huge hotel, but maybe like 12 units where people can come and enjoy the view. I said, well, Dad, there's this new thing called glamping, and I think with this kind of view, I think people would love it. So that's where the idea came from. And then, like I said, we had that electrical problem. Now, how are we going to feed into these units? And solar was the answer. So between real estate and solar, there's a lot of things.
I want to pivot a bit here. We are heavy real estate investor focused. You mentioned doing this deal in Colombia. Families from Colombia? Up that I cut out. I said you mentioned doing this deal in Colombia. I imagine families in Colombia or some families in Colombia.
Yeah, I was born in Colombia.
I'm curious, is solar happening in Colombia in many of the same ways that it has been adopted in Texas? Of course, it's a sun-heavy area, or is it more uncommon and not as widely adopted in Colombia?
In Colombia, it's more commercially utility scale. It's not a lot on residential homes, but it is growing. I've seen the adoption of solar energy and the creation of new solar companies in Colombia. Just because I follow a lot of my family and friends, I've seen how it's grown, and now it's going into a residential sector. So it's definitely growing, and the government's coming with really nice incentives, very similar with what we have going on here in the States.
What's interesting about solar, right, is there's lots of areas that would really be probably perfect for solar that it has not been adopted yet. I live in the Dominican Republic. This is one area where there would be a tremendous use case for solar. But just like, we're both Texas guys, just like in Texas, you have a lot of stick-built homes, and that might not be the most durable long-term, but that's just the way things are done. It's difficult to change the guard and the way things are done. But speaking of that, and speaking of changing the guard, solar has gone through a lot of changes, both with financing, with incentives, with what the public's perception of it even has been. You've been in the industry for several years, enough to see some of these changes. What's your perspective on how solar has changed over the last, 10 to 15 years, and then even the last 5 years?
If you're looking for consistent, high-quality leads, look no further than Investor Machine. Investor Machine isn't just another agency. It's the most sophisticated, data-driven lead generation company on the planet for real estate investors, and serves the role of being not just a lead generator for your business, but a marketing partner that is helping you achieve your goals along the way. Go to investormachine.com to learn more and schedule a call with our team today.
Well, when I started in the industry, the only option there was is pretty much going cash for a system or getting into a loan. And these are long-term loans, and how it works is that the finance products that are available are meant to match your energy bill. That way it doesn't seems like a really harsh investment, more like, hey, you're currently paying $350 to your electric company. If you go solar today, your solar payment would be $300, and your new electric payment to the utility would be $25 to $40. So right now, it doesn't seem like a big saving. It's like $10 of saving, but in the long run, when inflation does its thing, you will see the savings of solar in the future. Still, loans are, the idea of going solar is to have control over this asset that produces energy and can mitigate the inflation rates that we have here in the United States. So there's definitely there's pros and cons of owning the system. But since 2023, more or less 2022, 2023, now they came up with leases and power purchase agreements, which the homeowner doesn't have to go into a loan, but it's just a way of still mitigating inflation without you running your credit and going into this long-term commitment of owning solar.
That's
And now
incredible.
that yeah, now that the ITC is going away, these programs are going to become more now as we're heading towards the end of the year. You see these programs where if you have enough roof space and capacity to install about 6 batteries, you could apply to own a microgrid. A microgrid is essentially how it works is instead of buying land, which as you may know, Dylan, costs thousands of dollars,
Right.
the deal is pretty much if you have a big roof, if you have enough space where we can fit 50, 70, 80 panels and install 6 batteries, that's more than enough to cover the average household consumption on electric. The deal that these finance companies are making is that, okay, we're going to invest in a microgrid. We're going to install 50 to 100 panels on your roof with 6 batteries. We're going to do the investment. You don't have to give us your social security number. You don't have to sign a 25, 30-year mortgage on your solar loan. What we're going to do is that we're going to keep the ITC, which is at 30%. We're going to do marks depreciation on the solar system. And on top of that, we're going to sell any excess energy to these distributors like Encore, Centerpoint, AEP. And that's how we're going to make our return on investment as the finance company. So after year 6, if the homeowner wants, they can apply to own the system. They can see, okay, so now that you've recovered your investment and you're satisfied with what you've the outcome of it, how much is the solar system? So that's the option that now we're giving the homeowners after they get all of these tax incentives, which anyways a lot of homeowners didn't qualify for the ITC, which is a credit based on your tax liability. Not all of the homeowners will qualify for it. Now these companies are taking the ITC, marks depreciation, and all of these incentives that are available to them, reducing the cost, and then after year 6, pretty much offering the homeowner, hey, if you want to keep the system, this is the price that we're going to give you, which is often a heck of a deal for these huge microgrid systems.
If you're a new or newer real estate investor looking to launch or grow your real estate investing business, please check out Investor Fuel Club. It's a coaching community, but unlike anything you've ever seen before. And you can actually partner with members of our mastermind from coast to coast on deals right in your market. There's no better opportunity to build a consistent business than to literally partner with pros to help you avoid costly mistakes, avoid the need for capital to do deals, and help you eliminate your fears as you're starting your business. Learn more about Investor Fuel Club at investorfuel.com/club.
I wanna ask you about new construction, ground up construction. I think as someone who's not 100% familiar with this space of solar, but I am familiar with real estate, ground up construction seems like the best opportunity to add solar, right? So it's a brand new home, in many cases, in most cases, going to someone who intends to make that their homestead. And if I am going to be paying the electric bill, I would like to have it be stabilized and would like to be able to budget it long term. And if I'm already going to be paying a mortgage payment and being able to roll in that solar would make sense. Is that something that ever happens to your knowledge? Is there ever a case where ground up new construction and solar are being built hand in hand, and there's not a separate loan for the solar than there is the mortgage payment?
Right, right. They're doing that in California. Here in Texas, there's an entire community in Georgetown where the solar installer and all of their homes have already solar. And the cool thing about it is that instead of the conduits going up the roof on the side of the house, which doesn't look as aesthetically pleasing as you would want, these houses come with all the PV electrical system interior. So no ugly conduits running on the side of your home. Really aesthetic attic runs. Side of the house is not a thing anymore. So all you see is looks either the inverter or a combiner box on the side of the house, and that's it. And of course, if you have batteries, well, you can add the batteries to it. But us personally, yes, we've had home investors, even people that want to add solar from the start come to us, and that's what they want. They want the aesthetics of it. They don't want crazy attic, crazy conduit running up the
Right.
roof on the side of the house. They want everything interiorly done, and at the end of the day, that's even better because you know that the electrical connections are going to be protected and is going to be equivalent as having your electrical system for your home for 30 plus years.
Julian, we are coming up on time here. Where can folks go if maybe, hey, they'd like to reach out to you? They may be interested in getting solar, or they might like to get in contact with you directly and have a question for you about your experience in the solar space.
I'll be happy to. Yeah, you guys can go on Google, search for Arias Solar Care. You will be pleased to encounter a 5-star solar company. You can go through the reviews and judge for yourself, right? I'm not here to say that we're the absolute best and we do this and that. Judge by your own. Go on Google, go on BBB. You can find us there. You can find our website. And if you want to give us a call, our staff will be more than happy to take your call and guide you on the right direction. Our phone number is 1-800-613-2799. 1-800-613-2799.
Julian, thank you so much for coming on the show here today.
It's my pleasure. Thank you, Dylan, for having me.
Thanks for joining us for today's show. If you're looking to take your business and your life to the next level, you really need to learn more about the Investor Fuel Mastermind. It's your shortcut to success. To learn more about the amazing benefits of the Investor Fuel Mastermind community, including surrounding yourself with hundreds of other amazing entrepreneurs, 100% financing on your deals, member-only discounts, and so much more, please visit investorfuel.com/Texas. By the way, Investor Fuel is even Texas-based. Also, if you're interested in applying to be a guest on this very show, the Texas Real Estate Pro Show, please visit investorfuel.com/Texas. You can also check the show notes for access to free resources, how to get access to world-class lead generation, and much more. Don't forget to subscribe on YouTube or your favorite podcast app so you never miss another episode. We'll see you on the next show.